Hey, how y'all doing? The other day's video, the rant must have worked because we got our parts. Hallelujah. And we got Ike filming for me today. Now, we have assembled a little bit here while we were waiting on parts. And I want to kind of back up. We're not taking it apart. Oh no. But I'm going to explain some things to you. If your bike doesn't already have a kicker, there's the hole that this shaft, the kick shaft, goes through. The kit from V-Twin comes with a bushing that needs to be installed. And there's a little smiley face crescent in this gear. There's a stud that comes out of there. If your bike doesn't have that stud, Harley Davidson recommends that you take the engine out of the frame, press that stud in, and there's like a thrush washer that goes on the back of it, and it's got to be peened. Peened basically meaning that it gets mushroomed over so it doesn't fall off. Now, if you're doing this at home, that, depends on your skill level. That shouldn't be a big deal. But it can be a big deal. So anyway, we got lucky. The bushing was in, the pin was in. So there's also, let me look at it in the book here real quick, 15. It's called a shaft thrust plate. It's this funny looking little clip. Here, I take a shot of see that little clip right there, number 15? Doesn't look like much. And that's that pin I was talking about, and the little thrush washer. This thing actually rests on that. That's what that little notch is for. This is an oil seal. You think, oh, no big deal. Well, this thing will only go in one way. And if it's not installed properly, this kicker shaft won't go all the way in. Now, we experimented a little bit. What we had to do was put the seal and the little shim shaft thrush plate in before we put the shaft in. And with these big meat hooks, I wouldn't get my hand in there. Fortunately, Ike has little lady hands, and he was able. No, he doesn't. But he's got much smaller hands than I do.
Much smaller, that's for sure.
And we figured out after the third time, we figured out which way that little clip goes. And really, the only thing I can figure why it's in there is to keep the oil seal from wearing out, from kicking it, because that's stationary, that doesn't move. So once you get that in, it also very helpful to put a little grease on the back of it so it'll stay in. Grease is kind of like a little glue, to stick in there and stay in there. Also, make sure you lube up your shaft. The shaft is installed from this side. Oh, you know what? I bet you that's Richard Rollins calling me again.